one day live in a world where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. John Lennon spoke of a non-violent, safe, and loving world. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one. This is America, and our commitment to religious freedom must be unshakable. The principle that people of all faiths are welcome in this country and will not be treated differently by their government is essential to who we are.
I have another dream. A dream where people are allowed to marry whomever they choose, no matter the gender. Presently, there are only 6 places in the United States where gay marriage is allowed. I believe that people should be able to share their life with whomever they want, and the role of government is to administer that contract. Until 1967, only 44 years ago, it was illegal in many states for interracial couples to get married. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream that one day everyone would be considered equal. Imagine all the people living together in peace. If Lennon could imagine a world of equality and peace, why can't we? Discrimination has existed since the beginning of time. Society always needs an underdog. Every time someone different speaks up for their rights, they become the target of hate crimes and even harsher discrimination. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Change does not roll in the wheels of inevitability. It comes through continuous struggle." Regardless of what people think is wrong and right now, we will succeed. Just as every other movement has succeeded, this one will too. Recently, the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy was revoked by the House. Things are improving.
Every year, our farm produces all of its own vegetables, milk, maple syrup, meat, eggs, and all of these products are sent to our school and are used to cook many of NCS's meals.
Working in a factory farm is very dangerous. The animals or the machines could very well injure the farmers. For putting their lives in jeopardy, they get paid next to nothing. So not only do the animals get exploited, the workers do too.
Frederick Douglass Circle, the area in which we have all gathered today, is a perfect illustrator of this concept of equality. It acts as a cumulative point in which the diversity of our city is evident. It sparked a remarkable willingness of everyday Americans to show humility towards less fortunate individuals. The majority of issues that have woven themselves into the very fabric of our society are often the result of gross injustice. According to a study conducted by the New York Times 3 years ago, Harlem had only a handful of shops to offer to the public. Now the area is littered with upscale markets and restaurants. Also, while the average household income remains less than $25,000, the average price for a new condominium apartment is approximately $900,000.
Frederick Douglass once said, "If there is no struggle, there is no progress." According to radstats.org, 10,000 to 40,000 families in New York are displaced every year because of gentrification. And of that group, 80 to 85% of these people now have to pay more to live in worse conditions. My dream is that families who live in affordable areas can continue living in affordable areas.
Unfortunately, MLK's dream is something that is not a reality. It is something that we all must work toward. Members of the LGBT community are discriminated against and are number 3 in the list of those most prone to hate crimes in the U.S. In 2008, there were 1,617 reported hate crimes against LGBT individuals. And that is only a small part of the likely total number. Most hate crimes are never reported to police because of threats to the victims' lives or well-being. MLK's dream was one of equality and peace, and it cannot be accomplished until there is complete justice for all people who are so-called different.
If all people are created equal, why are LGBTQ children getting bullied? It shouldn't matter what your race, gender, age, or sexuality is. Yet bullying and harassment of LGBTQ teens is a common practice in this country. MLK once said, "Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend."
The Matthew Shepard case has the power to influence those who are struggling through the times of homophobia. It can unleash understanding throughout the world and support those who are fighting against the forces of homophobia. Martin Luther King presented a famous speech to the world, stating his beliefs in civil rights and the freedom that African Americans were entitled to. Today, we have to incorporate LGBTQ individuals into his I Have a Dream speech and welcome them into the world of equality.
Here, we stand at the Harlem Children's Zone's Promise Academy, a place that has a mission to provide high-quality, standards-based academic programs for students grades K through 12 from underserved communities and underperforming school districts, and to provide students with the skills they need to be accepted by and succeed in college.
Everybody has a right to a quality education. Today, many children all around America enrolled in public school education are not being challenged, encouraged, or motivated to fulfill their potential, mainly because of their zip code or their financial information. Martin Luther King Jr. believed in equal rights for everybody and thought the function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education. High school dropouts looking for jobs are not eligible for about 90% of available jobs.
We must use time creatively, said King. We must use the time we have been given today to protest those who have hurt us and anyone who has been the victim of this type of violence. The time we have must be used to give the future lives without violence and hate. Hate is cruelty. It cannot be distilled like a drink. It cannot be banished as a punishment. The only true way to keep it locked up is with peace. We have disappointed Martin Luther King today. Discrimination and hatred are as ever present today as they were 50 years ago. A person should be able to go out into the world without worrying of being attacked or discriminated against. Now the people of today must find a solution for the people of tomorrow.
Is inherently cruel. But hate violence is inhumane. When you kill another human being, you're also killing a part of yourself. Violence is a monster that feeds upon itself. It is a cycle. We must break this vicious cycle. Man was born into barbarism when killing his fellow man was a normal condition of existence. He became endowed with a conscience, and he has now reached the day when violence towards another human being must become as abhorrent as eating another's flesh. With these words, he urged us to break the cycle and made it imperative.
Martin Luther King once said, "I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal." We believe in giving education to everyone, no matter their race or gender. For example, the school offers sliding scale tuition, giving many more kids the opportunities to prosper here at Manhattan Country School, while also bringing socioeconomic diversity to the community. It also gives students a chance to experience Martin Luther King's values as well as ours. Manhattan Country School is a school that makes sure their students understand the true meaning of equality.
Manhattan Country School was founded in 1966 by Augustus and Marty Trowbridge and was founded on the principles of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but also believed that people from all walks of life should get to interact with one another. The buying and renovation of houses and stores in deteriorated urban neighborhoods by upper or middle income families or individuals, thus improving property values, but often displacing low income families and small businesses. As students and parents of the MCS community, we should all be grateful that we attend a school where there is sliding scale tuition. Many private day elementary schools do not have such an entity. Augustus and Marty Trowbridge envisioned an environment where everybody would be treated equally. MCS is an institution of fairness. Hopefully, MCS will stay the same for many years to come and not be devoured by gentrification.